Here we are.
Woo!
Gorgeous.
A great day, and I can't wait to do this with you today.
It's a great day. And you're all glowy because you went to the woodses.
I went to the woodses. I did. I put a lot of stuff, like I said, on kayaks and kayaked across the lake and set up camp for 3 nights and 4 days, and it was awesome. I so needed, my soul needed to be unplugged and just come back, with my batteries charged.
Yeah.
And today is such a great day because I get to do this with you and announce some things. And so I think we should just dive deep into getting grounded, because I'm sure there's people out there that want to get grounded.
Well, I'll tell you what, I could always use a good grounding. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you're watching, Carrie and I, we're going to close our eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel your energy pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll feel warm or tingly, or you'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect with divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy into your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with the earth's core, and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pool again in the root chakra, and exhale into your root chakra. All right, let's open our eyes. Go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready. I've grounded like 15 times today.
Oh,
Ingrid.
I've grounded twice today. And I got to tell you, I've got all these different energies and excitement. I mean, I was trying to ground right there, and I was like, all I want to do is dance. All I want to do is dance.
Okay, so you and I are feeling the same energy today, that amped up, like, energy. For you, happy to see that it's like, it's expressing itself as joy and exuberance, probably because you just ran away to the woods and recharged. I have not run away to the woods yet, and I need to. So for me, it's expressing itself as, same energy though, just,
We just need to touch each other. We just need the physical touch, that 30-second energy, holding each other, get that endorphin release and feeling great.
Yeah.
So, today's a very special day.
It is a special day. Why don't you tell everybody why it's a special day?
So today, well, first off, it is Bella's birthday. She turned 25 years old. And for the people that do not know Bella Ballator, let me just tell you, this girl is thebomb.com.
She is.
And definitely look her up. She is CHC's lifestyle manager, but let's just cut to the chase here. She's my right hand. She manages every aspect of my life and corporate hippie connection. Yeah. She is, the herbalist and the chef at the villa. We harvest together, we grow together, amazing, fruits and vegetables. And she also is the editor and just got done writing code and built a whole website from scratch. And so our website launched today. But what's even more excited is that our beauty columnists got launched today, and she is an incredible woman that is just highly intelligent. She's a Pilates master, so she's handling the fitness part of corporate hippie connection. And how we found her is another whole, how it's just being at the right place at the right time and organic, and just awesome to have this woman be a part of our community and a part of corporate hippie connections team. And so we launched her the website, and it's Bella's birthday. It's like, it can't be any better.
I've known Bella for almost a year. I met her first when you and I did the retreat together back in October of last year. Coming up on a year next month. And my God, that woman has just flowered in the last year. Last time I spent a significant time with her, it was for the photo shoot you guys put together for the show. And she just blew my mind. Pressed the hell out of me. She was just like, over here, do this, do that, totally in charge, taking ownership. Everybody around her was like, okay. I certainly was like, great, tell me what to do. She's
she's a millennial, so she can do it all. She wears many different hats. And I mean, I can't believe she took on, doing the website, but she was like, it just charged her. She just came into her own. And for everybody that doesn't know, that she's going to be behind the camera filming the 3 new shows. So we're going to be announcing the website. First, we were doing live, and then we'll announce the new website later on this evening. And it's going to be fun because there's 3 new shows on there. There's your show. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your show before we...
Yes, I'm chomping at the bit for this. I can't wait. My show is called Spirit Connection with Ingrid. And what we're doing is we're starting in Northern California, and we're going to go out to different historic places and places with a lot of paranormal activity and spiritual centers and anything where it's real highly charged energy. And I get to go out there, and I'm going to channel spirits and energies from that place for the show. And there's also going to be this sort of it's going to help people understand their own intuition through watching and being a part of the channeling of different energies and different spirits in different locations. Because, when you walk into a place that's maybe really old or there's been a lot of activity there, everybody can feel it. It's like when you walk to an old church or a graveyard or some historic, like a ghost town, everybody was like, ooh, so you feel something. So I'm able to tune in and really sift through the noise and bring through the spirits and the energies there and give messages, which is really, really cool to do that for a place, the beings at that place. So that's the premise of that show. And I'm really excited about it. Karen.
I mean, and we're very excited about Cynthia's show. Cynthia has got the Cosmic Family Connection, and I'll have her on and have her explain her show, but it's a bunch of just beautiful magic to do with the family. And then there's, of course, my show, but the cream of the crop of all of it is that all these shows come together as one for the mind, body, and spirit connection. I mean, it is original series, and that will come out probably Q1 because we have to get all of our shows dialed in and get all the footage from all of our shows, and the behind the scenes will be on the Patreon that we have on the website that has not opened up yet. But we also have a secret spot on the website that people are welcome to find. It's called the meditation room, and it's difficult to find it, but once you find it, it opens up a whole Pandora box. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go on in and go find it. That sounds great.
We also have an ambassador program for our youth because they are our future. So people that are in youth have strong platforms. They can go ahead and send in their headshot and a video of what their platform is. It could be hunger. It could be voice for children. It could be anything. Yeah, so we're pretty excited for this new website because it's packed full with sponsors and all kinds of diamonds. All kinds of diamonds.
I'm very excited. I'm thrilled to hear that it went live. I can't wait to go dig around in it. Find the gems.
So today, what's our topic today?
Well, so we're talking about self-worth and the path to empowerment and empowered living. We're talking about this. I went ahead and like took ownership of the topic this week. I was like, Kerry, this is what we're going to talk about. The reason is what I've seen, what I've noticed in me and with several members of my Bava community, the Bava mission community. That community is such a good gauge for what's going on energetically. So when there's a pattern emerging, it's like, okay, there's something to deal with here energetically. And what's been coming up is people have been feeling some anxiety, and they've been revisiting areas where they have in the past felt their unworthiness pop up and some insecurities. And, it got me really feeling into my own path from the places where I showed up insecure, and my path to empowerment, and the way that I help other people get to that empowered place. And you are the epitome of a powerhouse, an empowered woman. And like all humans, I know you've had your dips.
Mm-hmm.
You've talked about sometimes in your life where it's been, whoop, that was a dip. But so I want to talk about that because I feel like that's kind of crackling in the air right now. The energy you're talking about with that, woo, that can show up anxiety and insecurity for people, or for people who don't have to work through that right now. That's showing up like for you, which is, all right, let's dance. And either way is fine. I know for me, it's showing up as a little bit like, ooh, I'm revisiting some sticky parts inside me. And I wanted to talk about that and give people an opportunity who are listening to kind of, maybe if they feel comfortable, share some stuff that's coming up for them so that we can help them navigate out of that mental rut and back into a place of self-love and self-empowerment. Because the truth is, as a child of the divine, you are inherently worthy of all love, especially love from yourself. And I feel like that's such an important path to take and path to stay on. And I want to be of service in that way and talk about where we've come from. What do you think?
It's a great topic. It really is. Actually, something has surfaced for me, and I've never talked about this before, but I feel open to say that since I was a little girl, I always knew I was different. And I knew that I had a gift. I knew that I was able to feel other people's energies and see things before they happen. But I also experienced moving from New York with a very strong New York accent when I was 5, almost 6 years old. Like I literally celebrated my 6th birthday in San Francisco, and going to a new school, and I would just like drift off, in 1st grade, 2nd grade, I would just like drift off and go into some other world and just imaginary and not be engaged with the teachers. And so the teachers brought it to my parents' attention that I was falling behind, and that possibly, I hate saying this, I hate putting labels on things, but basically they told my parents she has a learning disability. And so I got tested at a very young age at Stanford University, and I scored really high in some areas, but low in others. And so they put the label on me, dyslexic. And right away, my parents fell into this label. And then I was in special education, and I had to take these orange buses to school. And I was being trucked from Burlingame, California, all the way to San Bruno, California, which is many cities in between. Wow. And it was a lot because I got teased, and it really broke down the innocence of me as a child. And it went against what I believed in and what I was molded, what my parents, always try to keep me connected to my source energy and build me up and tell me I can do anything I wanted to do. And thank God I chose the parents I did, because if I didn't have the parents I did, I wouldn't be here right now doing what I'm doing. Right. But it really gave me a low self-esteem there, even knowing I believed in myself and I knew I could do anything I wanted to do, but this label was holding me back. And because I had such a strong New York accent and moving to California and learning, I wasn't pronouncing things correctly. And so in order for me to learn, I learned by looking at people's lips, and I paid attention to them speaking. And even to this day, I cannot pronounce some words correctly. And so why is this popped up now is because I'm getting older, and going through this whole pandemic and the everything that we're doing. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I've got brain fog and all these different symptoms. And when I'm tired, I pronounce words wrong even more so. And so it makes, a part of me is like, it's sometimes it can spark that insecurity, that low self-esteem. And I'm like, nope, you can do this. You do it in a different way, and you do it better than anybody else. Meaning I might not pronounce a word correctly, but I can do other things even better because I think with the right side of my brain, and I do things with my right side of the brain. Doesn't mean that I don't tap into the left side of the brain. Doesn't mean that I don't upgrade my brain by reading. It just means that when I'm tired, this mechanism comes in and I have to reteach myself, find the better feeling thought. And I can't say this enough to this person out there listening. If you have low self-esteem in any area, it could be this, it could be you have a learning disability, even knowing, if you don't want to put a label on it, don't. Yeah. Because you are unique. I am unique. I am unique in what I do. I was created by God, and I have a gift within inside me that I empower on a daily basis. And so I'm not going to let that get me down. But when it does pop up, when that story pops up for me, I always find the better feeling thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like what you touched on, which was like reframing. It feels like you touched on reframing. You have a learning disability or a difference. Your brain is different. It operates differently. So what I see is your dyslexia, it's actually symptomatic of a highly creative brain, highly creative. And when you're that creative, you don't fit in a box. And reading and writing and copying, and doing it a certain way is a very tiny little container for a brain like yours and anybody with dyslexia, and actually most learning disabilities, I would say. When my son, I got him tested because he was really struggling with schoolwork and just staying on top of it. And he's really intelligent. And so it was just so frustrating for him. I finally got him tested, and he has a visual motor integration issue, which essentially means he tests in the 1%. So he has a hard time looking at something and copying it down exactly. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, this kid's hyper creative. So what is school mostly is like, copy down what's on the board, copy down what you read, regurgitate information and do it exactly. And his brain wants to be Picasso and take a picture and create something new out of it, something completely different. And so that was what I did. What I said to him, Kerry, is I kind of went that route. I went, you know what? No. This isn't a problem. This is the way your brain works. You are really creative. And that makes the way that they teach school harder for you because your brain doesn't want to be in a box. And I feel like that's really true for you as well. Your brain doesn't want to be in a box. It's got bleeding out the edges. So, and you've really learned you've come to embrace that. And I hope that Turner does too. I hope my son does too, come to really embrace that difference. It's not a disability, it's a difference. And we need all kinds of brains on this planet to make it as wonderful as it is. So thank you for sharing that. I know that's a vulnerable thing to bring up because there's a whole lot of stigma with a label like that, with a learning. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, people that are known that have dyslexia. Actually, the best actors out there have dyslexia. Cher had dyslexia, Tom Cruise had dyslexia, and the list goes on. Yeah. I think it's important to be authentic and tell your story. And I knew it was going to come out in this process. I knew it was going to come out on the show. It is what it is. I live with it on a daily basis, and I just embrace it. I really do. And I think that, there's people out there that are struggling with whatever it is. Embrace it, and always find the better feeling thought. Even if you're down on yourself, just look at yourself in the mirror and say, I was created and this is who I am, and find your life purpose and just go for it, because you're here for a reason.
And you're wired for that purpose. You were
That's right.
designed for that purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's been coming up for me, just to give a little bit of a vulnerable share as well, and Maura left a comment that kind of speaks to it. She was labeled as sensitive. Took many years to see this as a positive. So I really relate to that one. When I was young, so I had a real alternative upbringing. I was homeschooled with my brothers by my dad, who was a Vietnam veteran and fairly traumatized and super alternative. And my mother worked, so like I was weird because when you grow up without a lot of social stimulation, except your siblings, you're learning about it. So I would go out into social situations and probably make like weird little faux pas or big faux pas that I didn't even recognize that I was making. And the result would be like social backlash. So I spent most of my childhood feeling really like out on the outer limits and sort of outcasted from social activities and people and other kids and what they were doing. And it's something that hung on inside me for a lot of years. It took me a long time to move through that, because it was as somebody who is very sensitive as well. And I was just going out, gushing out like love and affection. And it was like, whoa, like fine, fair enough. But there's what kind of came to me as a result of that experience was sort of an innate mistrust of people. And it's something that I've been really working on. And you've helped me work on this, Kerry, too, just in relationship with you, in relationship with really amazing people. There's this sort of like, oh, hang on, is this going to hurt? And so that's something that's been surfacing for me over the last couple of days as these energies have kind of ramped up and brought up some insecurity in myself. And really having to look at that and be like, okay, do you want to live a life not trusting people? Do you want to live a life with a wall up, or do you want to open yourself up and trust love to come through and try not to worry about it? And that is how I want to live. And I've been sort of digging into some of that inner workings and some of the old hurt that still comes up. Because when we're kids, things get in there pretty deep. And letting that go and purging that and saying, oh yeah, I want to be open and sensitive and loving. I don't want to have a wall up. So that's the one that's coming up for me. And I can trace where it went back to as well. So
I love that when there's something within inside somebody that might be a deeper hurt. Like I said to you, I enjoy dancing with you, and yes, it was a slow dance in the beginning. You were really hard to open up, and I had to chisel away and work at it. But those are the greatest relationships, and that is my I feel like my honed in gift set is where I can just zoom in and find the beauty and the gift set that somebody has, and then slowly bring it out. And so if it sometimes you have instant friends, sometimes it's just like an instant thing, and that's great. And I even posted about this on my before my camping trip. You just meet somebody and that's your person. Well, I knew that about you. I knew that you were my person. So it's quite hard to get, but when I want something in life, I don't stop until I get it. So,
I know that about you. And I'm very much the same. So we're a match made in bloody heaven, darling. We're a match made in heaven. Well, I like what you said earlier before we're gone. And you're like, we're going to grow old together. And I got chills running through my body. I'm like, yep, that's the true statement. Oh, that's
like
great.
I told my cousin, I said, you better have my favorite color lipstick in your pocket and make sure I have my lipstick on.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So for somebody out there that might be struggling, it could be, emotional issues. It could be a learning disability. It could be an addiction. It can be, a story that maybe that took place when they were younger.
Yeah.
And so I know you're so good at this. What can we give them to build their self-esteem stronger and stronger every day?
Yeah. So I think the first thing that we need to do is stop running away from our emotional experiences and let ourselves have it. Like, I want to just say, I validate you and your hurt and your experience and whatever happened to make you collapse in on yourself. That's a real thing. You know, your experience of being labeled a dyslexic and what that puts you through is a real thing. And I believe that until we can say, okay, that's a real thing and I get to have that, I get to feel those feelings, that's what we need to do before healing can begin. A lot of times what we don't realize is the reason we're hanging on to stuff for years is because we're running away from feeling it. We're running away from it. And so it kind of dogs us up here. It never really goes away, but we never really dive into it. And it's just this sort of limbo, lingering, uncomfortable experience or energy. And then what it does is it starts to create like wacky behaviors in us. And we start to project and we start to get triggered and we start, and it's not going to go away or resolve until we let ourselves have the feeling of it. And from that, when we really let ourselves have it, then the better feeling thought is so much more accessible. You know, when we're trying to do it from here, there's a difference between bypassing and pushing it away and pretending something else is happening over here versus, oh, that's intense. Okay, now I'm in it. I'm ready to pull myself out of it because I've given that experience to myself. And then you start to go reframe. Like, I'm really different too. And what sets me aside is like this big booming heart and love and just being, a little weird and over aggressive about it, but it's a beautiful quality. And just because I had some difficult experiences with probably not very many difficult people, my brain wants to make it a bigger deal than it is. When I let myself feel it, I can go, oh yeah, but that's something I love about myself. And I would never want to shut that off. Never want to shut that off. And for you, that big creative juicy brain that enables you to create something like Corporate Hippie Connection and manage all of these different elements and shows and show up as this big powerhouse you are, you would never want to change that. That brain is perfect for what you're doing. So what I say is like, and that's why I always kind of come back to is we've got to let ourselves have it and then we can heal it. But that's not the same as wallowing. So there's two things that we can do here. We can push it aside, pretend it's not there, and then it just dogs us, or we can sit and wallow in it and sink into victimhood. And that doesn't work either. You want to give it to yourself fully and then be committed to pulling yourself out of it. You do that by reaching for the better feeling thought, by reframing, by forgiving yourself and forgiving other people who are involved, whatever sort of made you collapse in on yourself. And if you don't know exactly what made you collapse in on yourself and you just have this sort of pervasive feeling of low self-worth, start with the feeling. You don't have to know the why. That will come clear probably as you just let yourself have it. And that's really the pathway to healing, not running away from it. What about you? What's your recommendation?
I say embrace it. I embraced it. I embraced my disability and I just became really strong in other areas. And I didn't hold myself back, I just found what I was really, really good at, and I became even better at it. And just really pouring more love into myself and not using it as a crutch. And really, this is the first time I've ever talked about it today.
That's amazing. I love you so much. You used it for this rocket fuel. You went, okay. And you know what? That's life though, isn't it? If we didn't have these frictions in our life and these challenges in our life, we wouldn't do anything. We would just like sit back and just be kind of comfortable. We need that to prod us into greatness. And you used it, just squeezed every ounce out of it. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Feeling amazing. I'm good. I feel so good. So I hope this has been really helpful for whoever's out there listening. And if you can find any ounce of self-love to come back home to your self-love, I think that's amazing. Even if you're just able to acknowledge, like, I have some feelings to feel, go ahead and feel those. Energies are not so right now. Okay. And it's going to be for a foreseeable future, but it's really working for us. It's working in our favor. It's all designed to expand us. And so if you're struggling with feelings of insecurity coming up, then you have some work to do there. If you're like Carrie and you're like, I'm dancing with the energy, fantastic. Embrace that too. We all respond to the energies differently, depending on the inner work that's being asked of us to move through. And Carrie, you're in a position now where you've moved through so much of this. So this agitated energy is showing up as like, okay, energizing and excitement. And there are other people who are going to be watching going, oh yeah, I feel that too. And some people are going to be resonating with me and going, yeah. So it depends on what you process.
I want to add something. Don't do anything to impress anybody else but yourself.
Oh, amen to that.
Yeah. Because, there are people out there that maybe, like, for instance, growing up, I got teased for riding on that orange bus. And, as a kid, sometimes I would do something so I could be, a part of another group or whatever. And as an adult, I would recommend not to do that. Stay true to you. And, it's hard to say this now, but actually it's easier to say it now, harder to say it when I was a kid, but enjoy your process and
I like that.
Stay in yourself, stay in your power, and you were made just the way you were supposed to be made.
Yeah.
And you are a miracle, and you're here for a reason.
And you are deeply worthy of all the love in the world. And I, for one, am ready to give it as much as will come through me. Beautiful, Kerry. Thank you for that. That's important. Live for yourself, not for other people. If you're wanting to fit in, bring it back to yourself. What do you got to work through there? What is making you want to get out of yourself and out of your body and into someone else's experience? Gorgeous, darling. All right. Well, let's talk about where can people find you, Kerry, who are listening on my
Okay, so you can find us at Corporate Hippie Connection on Facebook. We are a lifestyle brand, community, and movement. You'll find lots of resources on our website and on social media. And we are here every Tuesday at 2:00, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And where can people find you if people are listening on my platform?
All right. So I'm just going to brag about this. I am the spiritual advisor for Corporate Hippie Connection, which is mind blowing because we had a conversation about this recently. And it's really bloomed inside my brain is the fact that, this is groundbreaking for a corporation to have a spiritual advisor on staff. And being a part of that new paradigm example is so important to me. And I am such gratitude, so appreciate it. So I'm here to support Kerry and her staff and show hosts and anybody who needs it in a spiritual capacity. That's my jam with Kerry. Additionally, I'm the founder of the Baba Spiritual Mission, which is a church, and our goal is to help you connect with the infinite and take your spiritual message out into the world. And you can learn more about us on bavamission.org. You can find me on Facebook with Ingrid H. Turner. I'm kind of everywhere on all the social channels with Ingrid H. Turner. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, thing. That's where I am.
And soon your show. Soon my show.
Soon my show. Yeah, there's a lot of elements at play, and I'm just jazzed and so excited and trying to organize it. I aspire to be Kerry and Bella. you are inspiring me. I'm like, oh, that's a good way to do that. Ooh, I'm going to do that for my stuff too. So that's me in a nutshell. So thank you, sweet Kerry. I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
We love you. See you next Tuesday.